Welcome, everybody. And today I'm very much enthusiastic and excited to introduce you to a wonderful person. Before that, I'm going to tell what this show is about. This show is about a book called Lessons of Icarus and the Pursuit of Happiness by our renowned author, William R. Fowler III. And we have with us, we have the privilege of talking to this wonderful person who's going to talk all about uh, the lessons of Icarus and the pursuit of happiness, and a little bit about his upcoming book as well, The Doors to Possibility. So we'll find out more about Randy, as I call him, uh, a wonderful friend of mine, a great association since long years. And we'll find about this wonderful personality, and we'll talk more about this lovely book called, again, as I say, The Lessons of Icarus and the Pursuit of Happiness. So let's welcome our wonderful author and my friend, William R. Fowler III. Welcome to our show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much, Sharat.
Wonderful.
I'm excited for the show.
Absolutely. So finally, we are here. Finally, we are having a conversation. And finally, we are actually talking to the audience and spilling the beans about the lessons of Icarus and the pursuit of happiness. So we'll dig deeper into the book. But first, our audience would love to know a little bit about yourself. I gave a formal introduction, but let's go a little informal. Let's find out who actually is Randy, as I call him. So, Randy, tell me a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your childhood, how your childhood was, and how did you actually, continue your life, and what prompted you to write The Lessons of Icarus?
Well, it's a long story, but I'll make it pretty short, I think. I had grown up with a series of family structures and events where there was a high expectation of success level. That you're going to do well, you're going to try hard, and all that. So that was my upbringing. And we saw various successes and failures at that, as we see every day in the world. But my problem is I actually have a mental disorder called bipolar disease, bipolar disorder, which you've no doubt heard of before, but I didn't know I had it. So what happens when you have a manic episode as a bipolar person and you don't know it, you basically make a big mess of your life. It affects your judgment. You start putting out fires because you're going too fast. You can't go back and fix yesterday. And all of a sudden you get this feedback loop, keyword there, feedback loop of nonsense. Okay. So I wound
I
up
love that.
hospitalized. I wound up actually hospitalized with a severe nervous breakdown. The real thing. I was in the hatch, where is a terrible place for a sick person. I can guarantee you that. The screaming, the wailing, it was horrible. I was there for 3 weeks. And I got back out and I said to myself, what happened? And I took 3 years to figure out not only how I had gotten there, but how I was going to survive getting back. And for 3 years, as I practiced and honed my understanding of how to actualize, how to do it, I stumbled on how to do it from all the reading I've done, as you could do. Seeds of Greatness, Think Grow Rich, lots of great books out there. I grew up on all that stuff, but I came at it with a slightly different angle as well. And that is, I'm looking for an entire philosophy of happiness rather than here's how to make $1 million. Okay. You make $1 million, then what? Okay. You're not going to be satisfied. Are you?
Right.
Admit it. We've seen human behavior. We cannot deny that we are always striving for more than we can have. It's natural. We shouldn't fight it. But what we should do is learn how to direct it. Okay? That's the issue, is not to let it go in all directions, anywhere here and there, but to focus it forward on what's going to be the best thing for you and your family and your friends and the country and the world all at the same time. And you're going to be happy about it.
Wonderful.
That's where I'm coming from.
Tell about the anxiety episodes, because people are anxiety stricken these days. Before I go to all the deep questions and the lessons of Icarus, as it is the crux of our discussion, you spoke about anxiety. You said that you were hospitalized, you weren't well mentally and physically. How was that state? And how did you spring out victorious on the other side, even before you wrote the Lessons of Icarus?
The Lessons of Icarus is, in fact, a warning in itself. That's why the book had to be written, because if anyone else stumbles upon these tools, they are far too powerful for an uninitiated person to deal with. This book explains how it works, but also applies wisdom to make sure that you don't do yourself harm, as I did the first time. I thought I was so smart that I could change the world, and I did, but the world didn't necessarily like it. Okay. And people started looking at me funny. It got
Awesome,
crazy.
awesome,
It got
awesome,
bad.
awesome. So,
So
so
I had to climb back out of that. And again, I said to myself, after it was all over and I got out of the hospital, I said, what happened? How did my life just go berserk like that? What happened? And I took 3 years to write it down and think it through and encompass not only what the good parts are that drove me to that level, but also the wisdom to learn a lesson to make sure you don't do it in a self-harm kind of way. So the book is not only a puzzle, it's a warning that if you're going to play with these tools, make sure that you're thinking about it clearly about what you're creating, because it's your responsibility and there's no escaping it. That's the nature of it. But again, it's a warning. I've never really come out and admitted that to anyone, but the book really was written as a warning. If you go in and play with these tools, beware, be cautious and careful.
is it the warning to change, or is it a warning that you may imperil your life at any moment?
You may
It-
imperil your sanity. You may imperil your life, not your life so much, but your state of mind. And that's what's all we're talking about here. Is the book says the main tenet of the book is you need to learn how to achieve and maintain what I call a desirable, whatever that means, a desirable state of mind. Now, I'm saying you tell me what that state of mind is, and I'll tell you how to get there. That's the nature of it. I don't want to define your happiness. I want you to. But then when you get it, I want you to remember that you got it because you earned it, not because it fell in your lap, not because of good luck or coincidence. All right. It's because you earned it and you should be happy. When we make
Right,
an
right.
impact on the world,
We'll talk about all those possibilities of these ideas, these thoughts are coming to my mind about what about the person who won the lottery? What about the person who became a billionaire overnight through
is he
serendipity,
happy?
or he married a uh, you know uh, you know rich woman, and he was turned out a billionaire overnight. But uh, but because this show is revolving around your book, I want you to show my audience, the book, The Lessons of Icarus and the Pursuit of Happiness. I want them to see the cover. What a beautiful. I mean, it gives me such a pleasing state of mind, and the pursuit of happiness. I think this is the central core of everybody. The pursuit of happiness in some form or the other. And as I told you, this has become elusive. People now, in this flood or the upheaval of social media and a lot of data overload,
Flooded.
and so much of information around, uh, people. I feel that anxiety has become commonplace. It has become second nature to everybody, and the pursuit of happiness is like a chase, a never ending chase. And I feel that, I feel, I read your book. It is a wonderful read, and as you said, one has to read it multiple times to actually not really superficially understand the grammar and the vocabulary and the words, but something really deep, the liquid gold inside, which is not elusive, but you have to pay attention. It seeks practice. I've seen, I read your words that it takes practice, it takes discipline, it takes dedication. Also, we'll go a little deeper into that. We understood what is the truth about anxiety. Uh, you know, which is the first chapter of the lessons of Icarus. And then we want to go a little deeper into different concepts on why we'll go back and forth because I'm really intrigued by this book. Uh, one thing it talks about is a desired state of mind, that desirable state of mind, and then it talks
Exactly.
about living in the now. At some point, it was talking about uh, chaos theory, and it was talking about the observer effect. And then you have laid out five beautiful lessons for all of us to implement, understand, imbibe in our daily living. uh, first start First, let's start because this is the ongoing thing in everybody's life, that they want to achieve their dreams, become successful in life, become happy. And sometimes they're at a crossroad. Sometimes people are even going astray and
Yes.
trying to find out the meaning of their life. And I saw that in one of the pages, that existentialism is going to uh, directly explain what is the meaning of life if we have lost it. And I feel that at least 95% of us, I'm going to include myself, have lost it. Let us, I mean, please tell us, one, how do you approach reading this book? And two, how do you achieve your dreams rather? And what is your take on achieving your dreams? Is it permanent success, or is it an ongoing journey of sorts?
It's an ongoing journey. And I caution in the book, it's only fair to say that your dreams may need to be adjusted based on changes in the world and the environment. You know, if there's a stock market crash or interest rates are suddenly too high, these are real facts you can't avoid, right? But that's not going to stop your dream. That's going to cause you to refine it. Don't look at it as failure. Look at it as a way to refine by adjusting to what's going on around you. Don't stand in the way of things, right? Things are moving. They're always going to be moving. Don't get in the way of it. Ride it, ride with it, go with the flow. It's always good advice.
We are in a constant tug of war. The other day I was like feeling really, really sublime. I felt I was really calm and I had those gentle emotions. But the next moment, some text message, triggered me, and instantly I knew that I was in anxiety. At least I could identify what it was. So I understood that definitely it is a big player in everybody's lives. So thank you for
How did
that
you feel at that
explanation.
time? Did you feel happy?
Not at all.
No, I mean when the anxiety went away
Absolutely. Yeah, it was like
the
a
other day.
yeah, it was like a burden taken off your chest. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a burden and it's self imposed. That's the thing we have to look at. It's our fear. It's a manifestation, to use other popular terms. It's a manifestation of fear, and we deny it to ourselves. That's the problem. You have to open your eyes up and face the fact that it's normal to have fear, but not to let it ruin your goals. You can't let it hold you back. You need to control it. You need to come back on the other side of the argument. Give the devil's advocate a chance. Try a different perspective. Adapt, but don't give up ever. I
Wonderful,
did write
wonderful.
a quote I thought would be kind of fun to insert here. The book, the bottom line of the book is in the following quote: the process of achieving and maintaining a desirable state of mind is what this book was designed to convey. In other words, the state of mind of happiness is what I'm trying to talk about. You need to read between the lines. It's not all laid out in black and white. I'm sorry, it's a difficult concept, as we all know. What is happiness? I'll show you. Happiness is achieved by having an impact on your world, whether it's your friend, your family, your work, whatever it might be, having a positive impact and taking responsibility for it. That's a big part of it. You need to learn how to take responsibility for your own decisions and accept it. We make mistakes. So what are you going to do? You're going to learn from the mistakes or let it drive you down again? Get back up, right? You've heard these words before. My words are not totally unique, but what I'm trying to do is to create a whole philosophy around it. Another good example is the Japanese homes. Thinking about this here, the Japanese enhance their homes. You know, with the trays of sand, and they have the little rakes that they rake through the sand, or they have a little tea party. All this calm, quiet, resonant, harmonious activity. They're doing it to bring about the right state of mind.
Wow, wow. I mean, that
That's
is,
it. That's it.
that, always had this thing, I think at the heart of all hearts, everybody, whether they want to, uh, you know, accumulate a pile of money or success of fame or
It's the state of
name.
mind behind the money that you want. It's not the money
Absolutely.
you want, it's the state of mind that you think it's going to give you. Am I
Right,
wrong?
right, right, right.
Am I
So,
wrong? You're saying I'm going to get happiness when I get all this money. Okay, guess what? You get all the money and it doesn't work. That's my message to you. And I know that you already know it. You just don't want to believe it. You'd rather deal with that lie than face your own fears. And I'm going to show you how to face your own fears. You have
how
to
do you,
mandate. You have
I
to
mean,
control.
I know that, I don't want to spill the beans. I want people to read the book, cover to cover, and,
Yes.
take notes, the way I
Yeah.
did. I mean, imbibe each word, uh, rather religiously in its literal sense, uh, rather totally. And I have my own questions as well after that, but I felt, at times of distress or at times of danger, I feel that some of the words, you have that uh, you have that fineness in writing. You actually, you can actually visit someone's dream, when they need your advice. Something. It's like a. Uh, I was about to say that it is. I mean, I feel Lessons of Icarus is more like a spiritual book, where you know, you it comes to you like a serendipity. The words come to you like a serendipity when you need them, and I feel that that's the need to read this book. Uh,
Yeah.
because my, I mean, I read the book very sincerely, and I felt, I derived a lot of benefit, and I feel that what I derived was only a tip of the iceberg. There's the whole chunk under the water, that big thing, beneath that tip.
It's a small
Absolutely
book. It's a
right.
small book. It's only
Yeah. I mean,
60 pages.
funnily, it's 60 pages, and I feel that even, bigger books did not provoke me as much as
Yeah.
the Lessons of
How
Icarus
big
did.
is the book?
After I've learned the success principles, rather, after I read a lot of places to achieve your dreams, manifest your dreams,
Yeah.
I mean, there are umpteen number of things about them. You visualize your dream, you actualize your dream, you actually become passionate about it, excited about it. You actually try to achieve something in the future. And
I call it investing in your destiny. All right. You have fate. All right. Fate's what's going to happen to you. Fate is your future unless you change it. All right. Fate means you're not trying to change the future. Fate means you're doing what you've always done because you were raised in India. You had this kind of family. You had this kind of illness when you were a kid. And you have these psychological problems. Yeah, I could go on and on and on and on. Right?
I'm trying to make a point, that are we seeking, in the desirable state of mind, are we seeking, uh, you know that state where, Buddha calls it nirvana,
Yeah.
or Lao Tzu calls it, I think he calls it Tao, the thing that flows, and a lot of other mystics call it enlightenment.
Yes.
uh, is that what your book is pointed toward?
Yeah. No doubt about it. This, if you understand the purpose of this book, you will understand why I wrote it. If you read it, you'll understand why I wrote it. And it's not to help me, it's to help you. All right. If I
But
told you, if I was a millionaire, if I
but
was a
this
millionaire, I would give the book away. I really, really would. Because I want people to read it, because I want them to learn my lesson so they can be happy. That's what I want. That's all I'm after here. And I'll be willing to talk about the book to the end of time. Because I spent 3 years on it and I believe in it. And now you believe in it too, Sharat. I can tell.
absolutely, absolutely.
And tell me, has it
I
had an
do
impact on
absolutely,
your life?
and I have internalized it, and I'm going to read it more totally and deeply. I feel that a lot of answers are hidden, em, are embedded
Between
in
the
it
lines,
between the lines. There's a there are there is a lot to uh, expect from it.
encompass. Yeah, there's a lot to encompass. I haven't had anyone, I had one person tell me it was a fast read and he only read it once. But that was only one person I've ever given this to. And I've given it to hundreds and hundreds of people. I haven't sold any of them because I never tried. I just wanted to know that it was a good enough book to stand on its own. And I've proven that I was under the false assumption that if it's a good book, it will sell itself. I was under that assumption. And so I made it as good as I could. And I said, here it is. I'm willing to take feedback and change it if I need to. And I did that for years and years and years, and nothing happened. So it's not a brand new book. I wrote this about 11, 12 years ago, but I haven't really tried to market it. This is really the first time I've come out to the public and said, this is something that I really feel you should read. And I do mean that. I want you to have the lessons that I learned to protect you in the future and to protect your happiness. And those are the right words.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So we are almost at the end of the show. Before that, I want you to, after that, I'll ask you to actually give something from the book so that they can actually that
Certainly.
can trigger them and uh, you know provoke them to read. Uh, we spoke a bit about it, but I I want to talk a little bit about those 5 lessons also, and how do they read it? Is there a specific way to read? I'm going to uh, I'm going to ask that question also. But before that, you mentioned something. We spoke about 2 things I want to talk. We spoke about the desired state of mind. We spoke about anxiety and stress and tension and fear as such. Surprising. I mean, I wanted to go in different places, but you actually explained everything in your own way, so I need not ask those questions. So I prepared few questions and I wanted to, but it didn't go that way. you know it went like a flow. It was like a flux which happened, and as it should be. Any real discussion, any authentic discussion takes its own course, and I'm happy about that. Just wanted to ask you 2 things, because on one side people are really looking at actualization. That is, they really want to know who they are.
Who they can be.
They are seeking spiritual help. They are going to different masters. They are going to uh, they are actually following and practicing different modalities like meditation
But
and
why?
breath work, and and energy work, and all that. And on the other side, the thing which is boiling in everybody's mind is achieving their dreams. A lot of people have different ideas about success, of fame, and actualizing their potential. I think there is somewhere in your book called latent potentiality, or
Potentiality. That's an important
yes.
concept.
So
Do you want to go over that real quick?
absolutely, go ahead.
Okay. Potentiality refers to the fact that something may happen in the future. That's all it means. Potentiality means something might happen. So we say to ourselves, what are the things that might happen in the future? Well, that's quite a big list, isn't it? Right. But you could look at some specific things to say what might happen in the future. And you say, I recognize my vision of my goals. I recognize that and I can see it when I'm in the right state of mind. So potentiality means you can collapse, that's the right word now, collapse the possibilities to go in your direction by simply observing it repeatedly and with clarity. If you can see an outcome, if you can visualize the outcome, because you're in the right state of mind, alertness without anxiety, you can see the potentials that are out there that could happen. You'll see it clearly. And the only question left is what kind of plans do you need to make to get there? And you're going to create those plans. You're going to follow them step by step, day by day. And I promise you, it won't be done in a week. You have to keep doing it, but you keep doing it day by day by day. And that is how you live a happy life, because you know what you can do and you know that you're going to need to take accountability for it. That's the most important thing to remember. If you harm someone else, that's going to come back to you. And if you don't know that, I feel sorry for you, right? That's the nature of what we're talking about here. This is about human interaction. The observer effect has many technical scientific reasons behind it, but it also applies to people. When we pull up to an intersection, right, and there's this red light, green light, all that, and we see a police officer is on the other direction coming towards you, you're not going to run through that red light when you see that police officer, right? That's the observer effect. They're changing your behavior by your own expectation of the future. See what's happening there?
Right.
They're
So do you,
altering your behavior. You're letting them alter your behavior. You're letting them drive you by not crossing through that intersection. They're in
amazing,
control, not you.
amazing,
I'm not
amazing.
saying it would be smart. I'm not saying it's smart to blast through the intersection. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is all the other conundrums in your life where you can make a statement, you can make a stand. Go for it. That's what I'm saying.
So are
Just
we
like
like,
you're going to be visible to others. That's what I'm saying. This is a visible, interactive process we're talking about with people that you care about, people you work with, right? We're looking for harmony. Look for harmony. When you find it, you'll see what you can do, and that only feeds back more happiness into the loop, feedback loop. Create the conditions you want. Create the conditions that will make you behave in a way that will bring about your desired state of mind. That's it.
sure, is,
Create the
oh,
conditions that are going to make you happy. It's going to
great.
drive you to do the right behavior to change other people's expectations. This is what it really comes down to in part 2 of the book. Is sure you can say, all right, now I'm visualizing where I want to be and I'm happy now. Say, okay, Randy, your book worked. And I said, well, you haven't read the good part yet. The good part is there's no limits to this. There's time as a factor, but there is no limit. If you can visualize it, you probably heard this before, but it's true. If you can visualize doing it, you can piece together the pieces in your mind. You can indeed do it.
Great.
Only issues are, what if something happens that I didn't expect? Right? Is it a travesty? No. No. It means you need to modify your dream. If something happens that's devastating or superior, it could be great news. Maybe you want to change your goals to something even higher, but be
So
willing to. Be
so what you're
willing
saying
to.
is you have a control over your luck or your destiny.
Destiny.
You, I mean, I
It's your
saw that
destiny.
there is a, I think you defined fate. I think it is your, I think,
An
what did you
unexamined
say?
destiny. An unexamined destiny.
An unexamined destiny. So, I mean, what do you mean by that?
Well, fate means that you're going to do. I tried to answer this before. It's a hard concept. Fate means you're going to behave the way that you always have behaved because you are who you are, right? Sharat is Sharat. He's got this background, that background, this experience. We know that Sharat's going to behave like who? Sharat, right? But if you can change your behavior to make other people expect more from you, now their expectations are pulling you forward. All right. It's not the cop at the intersection you're afraid of. What you need to do is get other people to expect the best from you. Why would they expect the best from you? Because you're
figured out
behaving that way.
was that
Right?
the
If your behavior goes that
expectations
way,
that the
so will the
experimenters had in
modification of
their
their
head
expectations of you. This is
actually
deep.
translated into a
This is
whole
deep.
set of tiny
As you
behavior
go
changes.
forward, making harmony in your
Handling
life,
rats and
other
handling them
people
more
will say,
gently
hey,
can
Randy, how you
actually
doing?
increase the performance
Are
of
you bringing
rats.
some harmony in
This
my day?
kind of dynamic happens in
No.
people
And I
too.
think
You may
this
be
is where
standing farther
I
away from
agree
someone you
with
have lower
Abraham,
expectations
who
for.
says
You
that
may not be making
your
as much eye
feelings and
contact,
emotions are
and it's not
directly
something you can put
proportional
your
to what
finger on.
circumstances you attract in life. I mean, it is a little difficult to really imbibe it, because we are in a world where everybody, most of them, but now I think everyone have softened up and started to subscribe to the ideas of the world being a mirror. I mean, you change yourself, your environment changes. I think you wrote somewhere in your book that this world is a hall of mirrors, I guess. Right? I mean, I love that poetic way of putting it. I think
Well, that was interesting because that's when I was at the peak of my negative feedback loop. It was a very global negative feedback loop, and it was the way I describe it was that I had my own expectations of what was going to happen in the future, and all the people around me. But what happened is I was so good at it. Now this is a caution. Now I was so good at doing this stuff, okay, so good at it that it got a life of its own. It took my environment became alive. I don't know if you can understand what that means.
absolutely, absolutely.
For me as a young man, I had the right intuition to say, if I go to class at the first three classes of the year, I stick my hand up all the time. I know that I'm going to be on the ball for the rest of the course. I was smart enough as a young man to do that because I knew he would come back and count on me again and again. And I was going to have to stay on top of that course. So I set the teacher's expectations for me to behave in a superior way. I
Wonderful.
encouraged him to expect me to do a good job. And that's what it's all about.
Great, great. So, can we delve a little? Can you say your closing words about the lessons of Icarus and the pursuit of happiness? Can you generalize it for just tell them why they should actually read the book and the
This
different
book,
implications they will have.
yes, I understand. It's a difficult question to answer. This book will give you the path to your own definition of happiness. It will give you the path to get there. It will give you step-by-step instructions. Again, there's things that it won't do. It won't define your happiness for you. And it says, don't let anybody else do that either. It's your happiness we're talking about. You need to recognize that. That's really the most important thing to think about is maintain your own set of expectations of the future. Don't let other people monkey around with that. It's too important. All right. At your job, you might have to do that, right? Your boss says, do this. You say, okay, boss, or jump through the hoop and you say, okay, how high? All those things, right? You might have to do that at work, but not in your life. Your life, you're in control and you maintain the expectations that you want to see get fulfilled. Does that make sense? You
Absolutely,
maintain the
absolutely.
expectations and you look for the opportunities so you can leverage them at the right time. Again, there's that time element again. So you leverage your opportunities to bring about more desirable frame of mind, alertness without anxiety, in my opinion.
Great, 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 great discussion,
I've
Randy.
enjoyed
It
it.
was. I as well enjoyed it. I learned a lot from you. It was a fun discussion, rather in a podcast style. Both like it was both like an interview and a podcast together. Um, and I wish we'll do more discussions like this. But we are almost at the uh, end of this show, and I have to conclude. But really, it's an honor and a privilege to have you in my show, talk
Thank
about
you.
the lessons of Icarus and the pursuit of
Thank you for
happiness,
having me.
and and as well, friends. We are expecting a new book from as well, The Doors to Possibility, and
Yes,
he's going to come in another show to talk about The Doors to Possibility and talk about more. We'll find out, is it a sequel to the lessons of Icarus, or is it another uh, kind of a genre? It will be a surprise for all of you, but I want everybody to go and pick up this wonderful book called The Lessons of Icarus and the Pursuit of
available on
Happiness.
Amazon.
And the link is scrolling on the screen for you to go ahead and uh, purchase this, and give us your valuable feedback in the comment section, how you felt it, how emotional you became, what kind of lessons became your favorite lessons. My favorite lesson is number one, which is you must choose to work within the flow of time. stand in the way of events at your own peril, which is a great warning. And the other lessons are great as well. But in totality, the book is a great read, a must read for everybody seeking happiness, success in its real sense, truth, and
Truth, real
absolutely
happiness,
the
real
the real
happiness.
tenet, the real tenet as such is truth. So to really find out your truth, I feel that this book can become a wonderful portal to reveal great mysteries of the world, of your life, of your universe, of the multiverses as such. I know this book will trigger you, will prod you in so many dimensions. It will open up many more dimensions of your life. It is not a single read; it is a multiple read book where you read it multiple times. That different truths reveal at different times, even when you're not reading the book. Once you read the book is not going to leave you. The book will stay with you. The book stays in your heart, and the different truths come, when you're in a relaxed state of mind, when you need answers for all the puzzles of your life. And that's how I want to conclude. And uh, go ahead and pick up your copy of The Lessons of Icarus and the Pursuit of Happiness. I'm your favorite host, Sharat, and we'll find out more about William R. Fowler III's next book, The Doors to Possibility. Until then, have a wonderful day ahead.